Okay, folks, this is Kitty Kitty. And, okay, go away. And, so please like, share, and subscribe if you like what I got. I'm always interested in, any comments, any questions, you know, things that you were just stuck on that, maybe I can help. I don't know. But, so yeah, just like, subscribe, and share. And, so with that, the last video I had talked about forgiveness. I said, how do I forgive myself and others? It's easy. You don't. And because that's not where it's at. It's with the acceptance. Now, that's accepting the good and the bad, right? Now, early in sobriety, everything's all bad, right? There's nothing good to be had. I messed up everything, relationships, jobs, whatever. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. And, so working through the steps, right? It goes to step 12, and it says in step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, pass on the message to other alcoholics, right? And so, I got to thinking about it, and, what is this spiritual experience? Everybody's talking about it. Some say burning bush or, just the obsession itself to drink or drug was gone. And, some say, well, my family was reunited, and that's my spiritual experience. Spiritual awakening. But what if, and they say the principle behind the 12th step is service, which it is. I'm doing a service to people if I'm reaching out trying to help them recover from addiction, by way of, finding a God of their own understanding, and which is what AA is all about anyways. And, but I was thinking about it, even further. And with this acceptance, I think acceptance is the spiritual principle behind step 12, because what is my spiritual experience? It's when I can look at myself honestly, authentically, good and bad, and I've accepted me. Because that was the thing which separated me from God. First I had the 1, 2, 3, where, my idea of God was not a good one. He was vengeful, hateful, and punished me for everything I did wrong, which, for a good percentage of the time, that's what it was, in active addiction. Then in 4, where I'm starting to see, I have liabilities and strengths, and, and sometimes I can't tell which is which, because I have strengths which I thought were weaknesses, but I was just using them wrong. I had other things, weaknesses, I thought they were strength because, well, I'm an alcoholic and addict, and that's just part for the course. Now doing the 5th step, to God and to myself, it's like, okay, but it does say in the 12 and 12 that most of us thought that, having, just made the list, right, between me and God, that was sufficient. But it says, no, you got to go that extra mile. You got to share it with somebody else. And, so now I've accepted that not only who I am, but I've now made it public. And, it says, choose somebody who would understand what you're trying to accomplish. You go to the preacher if you want. You can tell your doctor, lawyer, whatever, just somebody, that will take in what you have to say. And we've all heard the stories of, I gave a guy $20 worth of booze under a bridge, and I said, all I want you to do is just sit and listen. And that's how they did theirs. But I've said before, the only way I find anything meaningful to me is if I do it with somebody I'm going to see again. So now I'm forced, and the 5th step promises say it, that I'll be able to hold my head up high and look the world in the eye, and I'm starting to understand that a little bit more, but it's a promise of the 5th step. So, now I've asked God to remove my shortcomings and help me with my character defects and such, and which is great, that's kind of what I was asking them to do in the third step prayer. That's what I was doing in the seventh step prayer. That's what I was doing in the 11th step prayer. Because all three are the same prayer. But this is now crossing over. I'm no longer living in the problem, which is steps 1 through 6. I'm in 7 through 12 now, where I'm living in the solution. And as I go through that, I've got to accept, man, I did stuff wrong to people. When talking to somebody this evening, I don't know if any of y'all saw it on Facebook, but I found my daughter, the one that I had abandoned for drugs and alcohol back in March of 2000. And so 24 years ago. And that's weighed real heavy on my mind, because now I'm awash with, unresolved amends, all sorts of fears. Will making the amend do more harm than good? That's a legitimate fear, And so I'm not quite sure what to do. Yes, I've been praying about it. Everybody keeps telling me, pray about it. I've been praying, trust me. And, so I've reached out to her. And, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it says when I'm wrong, I promptly admit it. I've been wrong for 24 years. It's time that, I paid the piper. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. If I can be helpful to her, I will. If she has questions for me, I can answer them honestly and authentically, because I've accepted those things about myself. And, and so really that's, it still falls in line with acceptance is the key to all my problems. For a couple of days, my mind, oh my God, was going nuts about, what do I say? Do I say anything? What do I do? Do I do anything? And, and then the even more intense part is, how would it be received? And seems like a simple question, but really it runs a very wide spectrum of potential disasters or successes. I don't know. And but then I had to think, and I was talking to the same person, and she said, well, sometimes we got to realize, in our steps that we weren't the problem, but we took it on, which is a very ACA thing, that I adopted problems which weren't mine. I'm very confident that my name is attached to this particular problem. I mean, she was 4. She didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I did wrong to her was, I didn't value the time that I had with her. Her mom, on the other hand, the list is extensive, the wrong that I did to her. And if I get the opportunity to make amends on that, I will seize that as well, because, really, I don't believe I've worked a bullshit program. And as much as I would like to share my experience, strength, and hope with each other, so we may find a common solution, ultimately, do I do what the program tells me to do or not? And I committed early on that, whether I succeed or fail, because I have dropped the ball, in my recovery, but I got back together and I pushed forward. Have I been working a bullshit program, or do I mean what I say? And I think it's really good to tell people, I have experience, strength, and hope, but I find more value in showing them that I have experience, strength, and hope. I don't work the program. I haven't in years. I do my best to live the program. The only time I work the program is when, something new and foreign to me, which has scared the shit out of me, such as this, and where I need to apply the steps. Because now I have to accept new parts of myself. So I had to filter through it, ran the steps through. And so that's part 2 of the forgiveness video. I'm not asking her to forgive me. I'm asking her to accept who I was back then as being the person. I'm going to tell her who I was. You know, but I'm also going to ask her to, you know, if she would be willing to accept the person I am today. And if the answer is no, I will accept that. So there you go. That's acceptance of the steps, and 12th one being a spiritual principle being acceptance. Have a great day, y'all.